Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
The talk is it's a free talk, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, anyone who's curious about you and your work can come and
yeah.
find out more. So what kind of topics will you be covering in the talk, do you think?
In the talk, well, it's mainly going to be about my creative process of
Mm,
like, I mean, I've always been a creative ever since I was tiny. I was always drawing. So, I really knew that this was the path that I was going to go down, and it was always very clear to me that I just wanted to be an artist. So from a very young age, I was always drawing. And by the time I was like in my early teens at school, you know, it was also very clear to me that I was going to be a tattoo artist and this is what I wanted to do. So, I really stuck to my guns and I went on my path to do this. And, from spending, half my life being a tattooer, it came to a natural kind of transition where I needed to kind of focus more on what it was my other calling basically. And that was to go back to the drawing and retreat into nature and then start this kind of new process of the
mm,
way that I would work.
yeah,
So it will really be like my journey of like how I got to where I am now and what I'm producing.
yeah.
And just how, I guess, how much trust that I had in my intuition,
Mhm.
being a very, very big part of the way that I draw now. And this is what I would like to offer to the participants that come to the workshop, is like, okay, how to connect into that space. And also using my Oracle deck as a tool and guide through the workshop as well. And also how I developed the hearts and how I channeled this through and just basically being able to offer some guides and tools on like how one can actually achieve this state and which I call visionary art. So it
Visionary
will
art.
be, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's really about tapping into a more higher state of consciousness, being out of your head and really focusing more into your heart. And so I'll be leading the participants on a meditative journey, which we will start to go into the heart temple. And so already like this heart temple is such a sacred space, so where we will be felt really held and loved. And it's this journey into the heart where we would go through the chambers and then set this intention of what is it that my heart wants me to know. And so using this and being guided by sound and music as well, which is very instrumental in the way that I work, we can start to really create this safe space in the inner world, which will then reflect onto our outer world. And within this safe space, we can start to really like ride this cosmic wave of creativity, and really allow whatever feelings to come through and start to create in that space. And it's
Yeah.
also really about just, it's so important to try and let go of fears of like self-judgment and oh I should be drawing because you know or I should be drawing in this style because it will be more received well, or they will like it better and it will sell. But
Mhm.
if we can just strip down those layers and just get to the core of it and just enjoy the process, this is where it's just super powerful, because you're really connecting into a space where, like, it's just pure. It's pure love. And that's what we want to, that's the feeling that we want to achieve, and that we want to bring through into the artwork. And that's the really important, like, energetic transference, that we can translate into the work. And then it will have an even more powerful effect when it's received by other people, and also in the process of one doing it, it's very healing as well. And
Mm.
also just really fun. So
Yeah, it sounds fun. I think that
yeah,
that sounds really amazing and freeing.
yeah, I think that we all have an element of it, but it's about, okay, like, how can I get to that point? So then, if we take like, because I've been cultivating this for a good few years now, the last sort of 12 years, I've really specifically been working in this way. And I feel like when you have like your little rituals, like I always have an altar here. So I've always got like certain crystals or things that I'm really attracted to that will inspire me. And it just feels like I'm kind of protected and held in that space as well. So it's about creating the space as well. And then it's so important to have that around you, this container, you know and then it just allows you to just let go even more. So like I said, we've all got that within us. Like we're all really creative in our own ways, but like how can we really take it to the next level and just let go and really enjoy it, so that we're not like, oh, I should be doing it like this, and so like self-critical as well. And it's not only something that we can use in our creativity, but on a day-to-day basis. It's about developing this relationship with yourself and your intuition, and you can use it throughout the day. So yeah, it's just really lovely.
And so I'm looking at the images from your oracle deck right now.
Yeah.
And each of them is like this really strange, intricate, beautiful, sometimes disturbing, but gorgeous heart. So where did the sort of fixation on hearts come from?
Well, I it was during the pandemic, and I was living in India at the time. And so, everything shut down, and then I had to get a repatriation flight back to the UK. And as soon as I got to the UK, like, I just had this, feeling, and I could hear focus on the heart. And
Mm.
it was the first drawing that I did when I arrived. I drew a heart, and I felt like, wow, this is something that I'm really picking up on through the collective, and the fears and the sadness, and, just this sense of unknowing. And all I could hear was keep focusing on the heart. Love is the fundamental tool that will guide us out of the dark and into the light. And it was just this knowing that I was like, well, I just have to keep drawing these hearts. And I kept drawing them and drawing them. And I thought, right, okay, so that I have to do 44. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I have to create this oracle deck because I want to be able to share this with people, so that, in their day-to-day practice, this can help them to learn to develop this relationship with the heart. And it was interesting that when you come back, when you were saying, some of them are really quite beautiful, or like, but there's always a darkness to it as well. And that's because there has to be, there has to be the darkness, there has to be the balance. We have to travel into those darkest of caves in the heart, so that we can learn to see the light in it. And I think will really like that's what will really help us, because it's truth.
About the workshop, I just wanted to kind of reassure anybody who's like interested in it, but maybe there's a block because they feel like, oh, my art isn't good enough or I'm not good enough. It's
Yeah.
open to anyone, right? They don't have to have art
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. Because I mean, like I said, it's, for people that say, I used to really love drawing back in the day, but, I just haven't had any time for it. Or total beginners that said, oh gosh, I really want to do this. And so it's just coming back to that again of, let go of that self judgment, let go of that fear. And why don't we just really have fun with this? Because, there's not really, I don't want to, I'm not going to be focusing on like technical drawings, or technical ability, and there being a finished piece, you know, at the end of it. it's about learning to get into that space, you know, and then something that you can take away with you. And it's about really being in this experience of like this just really magical cosmic journey where it's a complete like heart opening space to feel safe and grounded and just to draw.
All right. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you, and I look forward to seeing you again
You.
in September.
I do too. Thank you so much.